Hello and welcome to the Volo Antique Mall's virtual tour of booth 776, located in Antique Mall 3. This particular dealer is known as Antique Bookworm. Has a huge collection of vintage books, also jewelry, which we're looking at right now in a couple of different showcases. There's some older vintage books. Even has some vintage cameras. There's the vintage jewelry. Some glassware as well. These items I'm showing you are on the main aisle of his booth. There's another showcase filled with various jewelry pieces and some old vintage fishing lures. Some vintage fishing reels. Here's a display unit of all kinds of various vintage golf clubs. Spalding, Wilson, McGregor. But what this dealer is really known for is his huge collection of vintage books. There's over 1,000 volumes here. Just aisle and bookcase after bookcase full of vintage mysteries consisting of Hardy Boys and Agatha Christie titles. Just bookcase and bookcase filled with books here, vintage. Cookbooks. And he's got them displayed well. He's got the shelves marked with various types of books you can find on it. Just like walking into a mini library here. Fiction, huge volumes and volumes of books here. As I mentioned, this dealer is known as Antique Bookworm. He's in Mall 3. It's on the upper level of the Auto Museum's classic car building. It is wheelchair accessible from the via the ramp from Antique Mall 2. But if you're looking for vintage books, this is a good place to start. There are just shelves of books here. Also vintage sporting books, golf titles. Here's some other pieces he carries in glassware and clocks and there's various little vintage knickknacks and whatnot. Some old wooden tennis rackets. Also some vintage magazines and comics, record albums, a couple boxes there of comic books. Also some tools, as you can see here. Looks like an old wooden mallet and some planes. And more books. So if you're looking for vintage books, please stop by here, Antique Mall 3. It's booth 776, known as Antique Bookworm. It is wheelchair accessible via the ramp from Antique Mall 2. In addition to books, he also carries some vintage sporting goods, clubs and fishing equipment, lures. The antique malls are open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We're only closed Christmas Day, Easter, and Thanksgiving. We're part of the world-famous Volo Auto Museum complex. There's 300 cars on display, all for sale, including the George Barris Hollywood collection of various movie and television cars, celebrity-owned cars. Just a huge collection of books here. If you're looking for vintage books, please stop by. It's fiction, mystery, travel, sporting books, as well as some jewelry pieces, and as I mentioned, antique or vintage fishing lures. Here's a collection of cookbooks. All kinds of books here. If you have any questions about any of the items you've seen here, you want to find out more about any particular books he carries or the types of books he carries, feel free to give us a call at 815-344-6062. We have sales associates. We'll be happy to take a look in the booth here if there's something in particular you saw in this video that you want to find out more about, see if it's still available. We'll be happy to help you. You can contact us on our contact page. This video was shot on January 11th, 2010. Some of the items here may or may not still be available. If you'd like, again, feel free to give us a call. We'll be happy to look. Thank you for taking this tour with us today. And remember, we're open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. This was the virtual tour of booth 776, known as the Antique Bookworm, located in Antique Mall 3.